Am I the a-hole stories? Am I the a-hole for deciding I won't give any Christmas gifts this year after my mom canceled a transaction on my card? I'm still angry over this and I may not write very well, and also, I probably don't judge the situation very well being this angry, so I came to you. I'm a student. I have a student bank account, where my college gives me money for transport, when we had physical classes, or scholarship. These kind of bank accounts have no fees, but are age restricted, can't have one if you're over 25, and need an overseer. When I asked the bank about it, they told me it's just a security thing, so I chose mom because she's more tech savvy than dad. Well, through some incredible luck, I managed to get only top grades last year, so I was awarded a study scholarship. Great. I've been saving it up, looking forward to Word-Wide Black Friday, eyeing an amazing drawing tablet. I do digital art on very old intros. The tablet I was eyeing is as big as my monitor, is a display one and all around amazing. Black Friday rolls in, and Amazon Germany, closest to me, has it in stock at an amazing price. A price I could afford. I was so damn happy, I ordered it. Then I got a notice that the bank refused the card. I emailed Amazon, their customer service is so fast, and we went over the card details and such, making sure it was alright. It was, and they advised me to call my bank. It was odd, I had bought things online in the past with this card and it went through. I had enough money for it, even extra, so I thought maybe they had technical difficulties. But it was too late in the day to call, and they don't work weekends, so I left an email. Only to find out today, that for big transactions, they ask for agreement from the overseer and that man canceled the transfer. I was like WTF, and confronted mom about it, who throughout the weekend acted oblivious, and she told me that of course she couldn't let me throw money on something I don't need, and that I wouldn't have money for Christmas presents if I bought that. Then she had the audacity to ask me what I was planning to get my family this year. I told her that they won't get anything more than a bread shadow from me, and I went to my room and cried on the carpet. I missed out on the offer, I can't afford the tablet anymore, and it's all because mom wanted Christmas gifts. And no, I won't get her anything. Last year, she got me a blouse too small for me that she later took for herself. She can gift herself this year too. Bread shadow equals expression for nothing in my language. Edit. Thank you so much for people offering me money in the comments and DM. But I can't accept that. I'm really grateful for you trying to help, but I really can't take that. I'm really thankful for the offers and advice. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. I might have some sympathy for your mother if she vetoed the transaction because she was concerned that you wouldn't be able to afford things you needed, but it was incredibly selfish of her to veto a purchase because she wanted the money to be spent on Christmas gifts instead. Does your mother have form for buying gifts for you that are really for her? The blouse that doesn't fit seems like a classic case of that. Given that, if it was a genuine mistake, one would expect that she would give you a gift receipt so you could exchange it for something that fit and that you liked, rather than commandeering it for herself. Well, I can't think of something she got me that hasn't become hers after the holidays. Only if it was something from them both, mom and dad, was left for me. Like the RC helicopter from 2 years ago. Maybe I'm an adult now, but dad knew I'll have a lot of fun with it. And of course, mom doesn't care about toys. Not the a-hole. I would change the overseer on your account as well. I'm going to change it to dad, as soon as I'm able to. Not the a-hole. Take her off the account immediately too. Bank is closed due to national holiday, but as soon as they open, I'll put dad as an overseer. He would never do something like that to me. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for banning my brother from my house after he essentially poisoned me? Quick background, my 50 female brother, 48 male, is on probation, again, flatly refuses to get a job, and is functionally homeless. He's been couch surfing for years, and had been staying a few nights a week at my house. So, when my state locked down in March, my husband, 51 male, and I, decided he could stay until the order was lifted, provided he make every attempt to be in full compliance with the terms of his probation. I bought him a phone and put him on my phone plan, to help him with job hunting. He made no effort to find a job, and instead spent a lot of time baking. This becomes important. In May, the lockdown order expired, and we reminded him that he couldn't stay over anymore. He still came over twice a week. He'd often bake muffins while I was upstairs in my office. In September, I took a new job. He came over on my first day, which had started with me being so nervous that I scalded my mouth on my coffee. I was also in the throes of an allergy attack and congested. I told him I was busy with work, so he decided to bake muffins. A bit later, he brought me a pair of muffins. I noted that I could not smell or taste anything correctly due to the allergies and the scalded mouth, but I ate them anyway. He was very proud of them, so what the hell, right? Shortly after, his friend came to pick him up. I resumed my work, and soon began feeling awful, tunnel vision, couldn't type, heart pounding, head buzzing and throbbing, and developed a full-blown panic attack, sure I was having a stroke. I somehow managed to finish my workday. My husband came home from work, finding me in tears and begging to be taken to the hospital. He asked if my brother had been over, and said the whole downstairs smelled of grass. He said, "Your eyes are huge and you reek of grass." He called my neighbor, an EMT. She came over to check me over. Not a stroke, I was high AF. WTF? She walked me through my day, asked me what I had eaten. Oh. She searched my kitchen and found some batter drops and tasted them. She surmised he had substituted highly concentrated can of butter 1-to-1 for oil, which was why I was in such bad shape. I called him, asking if he had made magic muffins in my house. He asked why, and I told him that he had given me enough THC to knock an elephant out. Oh. My bad. I thought I gave you the plain ones. It took me 3 days to recover fully. On day 4, he came over and cracked, "Guess you fell apart, huh?" And there is when I lost my crap. My husband and I both have government-adjacent jobs. Had I had any on-camera meetings, I would have been fired. I told him he could not come back at all until he had a job, his own place, and was 100% in compliance with his probation. We could not afford to put our jobs in jeopardy. It's almost December. His friends are sick of his crap, and telling me I need to take responsibility and take him back in. I've refused. He's my brother, not my child, and I will not risk losing a job I worked really hard to get. Am I the a-hole? Edit. Thank you for your kind words and reassurances. It's painful to watch him walk this path, and easy to believe it's wrong to let him. I appreciate every one of you, even the cranks who accused me of making this up. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. It's not a joke to feed someone a substance they didn't consent to taking. And he's 48 years old. He's either more than capable of taking care of himself, or he should be. Not the a-hole. Dosing someone is a crime. Nothing less, and much more depending on the effects. Sounds like he's eligible for some county-provided free housing, if you know what I mean. It's always interesting when someone doesn't have enough money to pay for their basics like housing and food, yet always manages to find cash for what's really important in their life, like grass, cigarettes, tattoos. Not the a-hole. You've decided to stop enabling your brother. Sounds reasonable. Maybe at some point he'll realize he might not just be able to rent a room somewhere, but also keep a job if he stops buying grass. You gotta prioritize the important things. Not the a-hole. What he did is technically illegal. You can't put non-food items, like D's, in food that other people eat. It is a crime. It's the same reason why you can't legally put laxatives in food at work, if someone is stealing your food. The next story is titled, "Am I the a-hole for calling my mom a hypocrite?" My parents divorced when I, 16 female, was 5. They did not really get along all that good, though my dad did his best to make things better for me by trying. My mom got remarried 2 years later. She really pushed for a big happy family, and for me to accept her husband as my second dad and his kids as my siblings, which really didn't sit well with me. She hated that I didn't get along with his daughter who's the same age as me, and wasn't more happy with the new plans. When I was 10, I wanted a joint family party with my mom and my dad's side. The reason I wanted this is, I really wanted a friend party but knew nobody could afford it if they were already paying for a family party each. I asked my mom first, and she said never. That I had 2 families now and needed to get used to it. I always found that hypocritical, because she would tell me I needed to accept her new family for her sake, but she wasn't willing to accept my family for me. She would even make me the go-between, and get mad when my dad would talk directly to her instead of using me. One time I was with my dad, and my best friend and I, along with some other friends, made plans for a water park weekend. It was planned for my dad's parenting time, and then the week before we were supposed to go, the girl the same age as me found out and wanted to go. My mom asked me to invite her, and I said no. She then turned on my dad in front of me because of it. She told him it was his job to make me include her family, and that she wouldn't let me go if I didn't invite her along. My dad said it wasn't his job. My mom made a huge fuss about it during her next parenting week. After that, I chose to mostly stay with my dad. The thing about her new family was, because of her and her husband's attitude, the kids would tell me things like, I should be spending more time there versus with my dad, because I had more family, and I had a new dad and new siblings, etc. One time, my dad's parenting time arrived on the youngest kid's birthday, and there was a huge fuss made because I still wanted to be at my dad's, and not there for the party. The oldest got really pissy about me choosing my dad over them. Recently my mom tried to shame me again for not accepting them for her sake, if I couldn't even find it in my heart to love them. I told her she was the world's biggest hypocrite, because my dad was my family, and she did everything to separate herself and me from him. I told her she had no right to ask me to do that for her if she couldn't do the same. She said it was different, because she had been married to my dad and didn't like him. I told her, well, I had to live with her family for years and didn't like them. I know I can be stubborn and this has been an issue for so long. So, am I the a-hole for what I said? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole, from what you've said. I don't know the full history between your parents, so I wouldn't want to say anything more. But from what you've told us, I think your feelings and your reactions are justified, but only having heard your side I would say that. Personally, I've found with family it's not always about equality, as much as it is just trying to get through it. I don't think your mom will ever see things the way you do, so it's up to you what kind of relationship you want to have with her and her family going forward. Given that you're 16, I imagine you'd feel a bit trapped at home regardless of what was going on. Perhaps once you move out for a while, you'll have a different perspective. Even the most problematic parents are easier to deal with when you don't live with them. Dear God, no, you are not the a-hole. I would sincerely love you to show this comment from me to your mom. She needs a check in parenting. So, Mom, when you choose to have children with someone and your relationship doesn't work out, that's really hard. It is, however, your complete responsibility to always put your child's interests first. That means doing everything possible to not only maintain your child's relationship with their other parent, but to actively foster and encourage it. Your child comes before your own relationships, your partner, and your stepchildren. Your child has no responsibility to support your happiness. None whatsoever. Not only are you neglecting the needs of your child in this situation, but your behavior is actively harmful. I say this as a parent. I'm assuming you love your child deeply. So, support them in what makes them happy, raise them to have the best life with the most amount of love possible from both their parents. Accept that you and your child are different people with different needs, and the responsibility here is completely on your shoulders. If this is too difficult for you to manage, please find a good therapist who can work with you to find a way through. To OP, you're doing really well at standing up for yourself in a situation that's not your fault. Knowing what the right thing is here is beyond your age, so well done. Keep that relationship with your dad as best you can and aim for what makes you happy. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my birth giver that she isn't really my mom? I'm 18 male, and my dad passed away the day that I was born. I have pictures of him and I idolize him, even though I didn't have the chance to know him. When I was 8, my mom remarried to her boyfriend of 10 years, yeah, she cheated. He moved in with his son the day I turned 9, and took over my birthday party as a relocation party. His son was 10 at the time and my mom slowly gave all her attention to my stepbrother. My mom spent more time with him, and helped him get along in life. My college fund became his, my room became his, my mom became his, and I went to live with my grandparents, Dad's parents. They took care of me since then, and I see them as more of a family than my birth giver. I call them Mom and Dad because they let me, and I grew close to them. Earlier this year, my grandma passed away and it hurt. I stayed with my grandfather and made sure that he was well taken care of. She had a will, and left everything to me because I'm the only person she was close to. I got a call from my birth giver, telling me that I should come home now and share my inheritance with them. This is the first time she contacted me since she shipped me off, and said I wouldn't give her anything. She got mad and went on a rant saying family is family, and family is supposed to look after each other. I told her to buzz off and that she wasn't my family. Her rebuttal was that she carried me for 9 months and took care of me. This made me upset because I don't care about the inheritance. I want my grandmother back, but that can't happen. I said she wasn't my mom before hanging up. I got a call from my stepdad later, saying I was disrespectful and I'm obligated to help them. I feel guilty and hurt, but maybe what I said was too harsh. Am I the a-hole for saying those things? I was hurt, but that doesn't give me a reason to be a terrible person. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Your birth mother should be grateful you even took her phone call. You don't owe her, or anyone, anything. Her rebuttal was that she carried me for 9 months and took care of me. And then you dropped me like a hot rock for 9 years. Block number. Not the a-hole. You know darn well they'd be perfectly happy to go on pretending you didn't exist, if you didn't have something they wanted. You also know that's why your grandma didn't think they needed to be involved with the inheritance, not that they should have expected it anyway. They're not blood. Ignore them, and if they continue trying to harass you, look into legal options to make them back off, once and for all. All of this. Plus, this inheritance is from the mother of the son she cheated on. Egg donor can F off. Not the a-hole. Your mom treated you like trash, reallocated resources completely that were supposed to help you out, slowly shut you out of her life, and now she's asking why her now adult child won't help? Not the a-hole. She made her bed. She gets to come to terms with the fact she ran her son off. Right? The college fund wasn't enough for her, she wants to steal OP's inheritance too? Don't give in to her guilt-tripping OP, you don't owe her anything. And the next time she throws the "I carried and raised you" card, tell her that doing the bare minimum as a parent doesn't count. As for stepdad, you have zero obligations to him too. He can kick rocks. And that's it for this video guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day everyone.